Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I originally was going to post Friday, but I have a video I really want to get out early um, because this is kind of extra content. I literally had it written out for a different date in my file calendar, but you know what? I am going to do that. I'm going to do that now, and that is I want to talk about the bonus scene in From Blood. A bonus scene. It's the Red Pearl scene that I believe it came with. I don't know if it came with the Crown of Gilded Bones. I'm not sure, but there is a bonus scene written in Castiel's point of view. And by the way, I'm talking about the Blood and Ash series. If you have not seen those reviews, check them out. I will have them linked below because this is amazing. So I want to talk about the bonus scene, and this is the Red Pearl scene where we have Hawk or Castiel's point of view. Now, I'm gonna do some spoiling for the scene. So if you have not read From Blood and Ash, this is a good time to in general, if you have not read the series, in case I go into spoilers for the series, it's a good time to leave the video. I will see you hopefully Friday with a reaction. Hopefully Friday. I'm not too sure, but I'll try my best to see you on Friday with an Oran High School Stuff reaction. I'll also be putting out a video on Saturday, with a possible new series. Possibly, we'll see. I'm considering it a new series for now because it's an anticipation type of series. Anywho, with that out of the way, let's talk about the Red Pearl scene. The Red Pearl scene, I actually got it because I literally wanted to get this thing, and I literally signed up for Jennifer L. Armentrout's newsletter in order to get it. Like, nothing. I wanted to just get this book, so I signed on to her newsletter. Basically, the Red Pearl scene is happens literally in the beginning of From Blood and Ash, where Poppy has snuck out of the palace that she's in, and she snuck out like she has done before, and she ended up at the Red Pearl, and like the basic reason she went was to feel pleasure and just to feel in general. However, in the book itself, she sees Victor and he will recognize her, so she ended up having to run, and this woman suggests for her to go to a specific room up there, and that's where she meets Castile, or Hawk, however you want to call him, I guess. Yeah, this is how she ends up meeting this is how she first ends up meeting Castile. And this is how that whole thing happens. He thought that she was someone else, and he ended up he thought that she was someone else named Britta, and they share a kiss. And because of Poppy's inexperience, he realizes it's not Britta because she is so much more experienced, to a point where he said that the previous owner of that cloak that she was wearing had apparently her tongue down his throat. And that was odd. That was odd to read, by the way. Both in From Blood and Ash. It was actually funny to read in From Blood and Ash, but it was also very funny to read in this scene. And I was honestly a little surprised about it. And reading, and then they end up having a conversation in the book where they talk about pretty sad things about how people will have basically have a hard time making it because of the way Solus is set up. Like, for example, if your father is a farmer, you literally have no choice but to be a farmer, or the only way to rise is to be a guard on the rise, which is what it's called. Yeah, a guard on the rise. So they talk about that, and that's how we learn that Poppy's parents are dead, and in his cover that Hawk lost a parent, or his father. Basically, he lost his father's. I'm sorry, his father still lives, I believe, in the cover. I can't remember now, but basically that he's a farmer. According to the cover that he has, is that he's a farmer's son, and that he ended up in there. I believe it said. I believe I believe it said that like the parent died in the no, I think, yeah, no, I think his parent is alive, but it suggests in the scene that he felt loss, if I remember that correctly. I really should have reread this scene before this video. I'm so sorry, this is a mess. I just wanted to gush about it. But I read it a couple days ago and it should still be in my memory. It's just that I don't know. Basically, we have, that's something that occurs, and we have, we have Hawk just kind of like, we have him talk about that, and then something is about to start between them. Something is about to start between them before they're interrupted by Kieran. That's the basics of the scene in From Blood and Ash. We're going to talk about this now through Hawk's point of view. The scene, actually, in Hawk's point of view, starts with him having a meeting with Commander Jensen, who we actually get to sort of meet at least twice in the From Blood and in those 3 books from Blood and in the Blood and Ash series. It turns out Jensen is someone who also follows Castile and everyone, in the royal family of Atlantia. So they so we have that, and we have him, basically we have him following this, this, we probably following, and they are basically planning how to take Poppy from the castle, from the palace, I would say palace, yes. And they're planning basically Ryland's murder, because in order for him to get close to Poppy, Hawk needs a way into the palace, and the way to do that is to become one of Poppy's guards. So he basically ends up a what am I saying? Okay, he basically ends up he basically have to figure out, like, what to do, and one of the ways to do it is to basically kill one of the guards to basically become Poppy's guard. Now remember that in the Blood and Ash series, specifically in From Blood and Ash, Poppy has a sheltered life. Remember that her interactions are limited to her lady's maid, who becomes her friend, Tawny, and she's also a lady in wait, and she's waiting to be ascended. She's allowed to meet with Duchess Tiernan, who is the wife of Duke Tiernan, the Duke only meets her for his quote-unquote lessons, which are really, and I put quotes on that because they're really a way to abuse her. So if you do read From Blood and Ash, note that there is physical abuse there, along with Lord Mazine, who also joins him in quote the lessons. And she's also allowed once a week to be in court while people basically mention their issues, but she's not allowed to say anything. She's only there to be there, for the people, basically, because she is chosen. And the other people that are allowed to see her are Priestess Analia, who is meant to teach her. She's meant to read these passages and so on and so forth, and I guess learn their history as well as they have written it. And she meets, I think, with her for like an hour once a week or so. And last but not least, Victor, who is Victor and Ryland. Ryland being her personal guard, and Victor is I think he's the captain of the guards, if I recall, but he is also in the duty of guarding her. But the main people that she sees are Victor and Ryland. And even Jensen mentions that Victor and Ryland are good men, but, Castile mentions, sometimes good men have to die, basically. And we kind of see the same scene that I described happen through his point of view, where, he ends up meeting, they strategize how to get the opening, how basically the men to kill for Hawk to have an opening to be Poppy's guards, one of Poppy's guards, and apparently we mentioned that the Duchess also really likes Hawk and she likes seeing him and stuff like that, because I guess because of his looks. And through this scene, we do get to see how Hawk mentioned, that he has done a lot of things, and how we learn that Hawk himself has stalked Poppy for years to know her routine, and they know he knows her routine, and he basically stalked her in preparation to get this, this opening. And it's really interesting to read it in that way, because he basically stalked her, so in order to get this opening, and trade her for his brother. And we do learn through the scene that he does that, and how he does, I get the impression that he does hate the thing that he has to do this stuff, but he feels like he has no choice, because they're basically at war. And in his conversation with Poppy, we see, and the way he meets Poppy, and he thinks it's it's Britta. We do see him as he is, as they initiate, a kiss and everything. We see that kiss, and how he realizes this is not her. Like, who is it? And he at first, when Poppy was about to come in, he literally hid in the shadows and was ready to attack, because he thought someone was attacking. We also learned that this is not his usual room in the Red Pearl that he's in. He ends up switching rooms every time, because the Red Pearl is a great way to meet in private and without, being spied on. But he ends up switching rooms in order not to be discovered. So Poppy just happened to be there. And by the way, we also learn that the person, we don't learn it this way, but I just want to mention this. In The Crown of Gilded Bones, we learned that the person that led Poppy to Hawk in From Blood and Ash is actually Wilhelmina Collins, who is a part of the Council of Elders, who also happens to be the author of one of Poppy's favorite books, Willa Collins. And basically I think the book is called The Diary of Miss Willa Collins, and it turns out this is the same author of the book and the same woman that led her to Hawk. I kind of really like this, how all of this comes in full circle so well, and I'm looking at it and it's amazing. So it's very exciting. It is very, very exciting. So basically, yes, so that's something that I just wanted to mention. But basically, we do have this conversation, and we see that Hawk mentions, that she does taste different from Britta, but also that when he had his interaction with Britta, he was drunk. And he's like, I can't be that drunk that I don't remember what the taste was. And, he mentions the whole honeydew thing, and which comes up in the books and stuff like that. It's interesting. It's really interesting. But he's like, I couldn't have possibly been that drunk and stuff like that. And we do know that in this, that he has had interactions with other people before, but they have never been emotional. However, when he starts having this conversation with Poppy, he's actually, laughing and smiling and feeling emotions that he honestly thought were lost. So, yeah. And when Kieran ends up interrupting that whole thing, he ends up asking her to wait, like he does in From Blood and Ash, and she says she would, but even he says that at the end, that he knows that she won't be here in that room, but that he'll find her, and that basically she'll be his. That's basically the scene. And I think this, if I could count it on Goodreads, which I can't, because I can't find it as a regular ebook in Goodreads, so I can't count it as an extra book. I would rate this 5 stars, because Hawk's point of view is very interesting, but also because I think we got a couple of tidbits, and I enjoyed these different tidbits in general that came with this scene. I love it so much. It was a great scene. I think it had I think this being written in Hawk's point of view is super cool. And it makes me want to kind of reread from Blood and it makes me read the Blood and Ash series, because this scene now, like reading this scene, if I were to read Blood and Ash and then read this scene through Hawk's point of view again, I think I would make some connections. I definitely feel like I would make some connections. But also, I will be rereading Blood and Ash technically, and you'll find out why in Saturday's video. So stay tuned, because we have another Jennifer L. Armentrout related video coming out Saturday, and this is very important to me. So yeah, check out Saturday's video. It's again related to Jennifer L. Armentrout, and it is very important, and you'll find out why. For the second time, I will be rereading the Blood and Ash series either in September or October. Find out why on Saturday. Now, if you like this video, comment down below what you thought about the Red Pearl scene, your thoughts on Hawk, your thoughts on all things Blood and Ash. Comment down below as well of any video requests you may have, or you can also contact me privately in the places in the description. Also check out the description for links and things in that form. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the video. I really would love some help with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much. That's what is obviously very appreciated. And subscribe if you're interested in more content. I post at least once a week, definitely on Mondays. I always have my bookish related stuff on Mondays. All my book reviews and recommendations usually come up on Mondays. So if you want more of that, oh, thank you, Echo. Sorry. Subscribe and stay tuned for more content from me. And with that, I'll see you hopefully tomorrow, Friday. But if I don't, I'll definitely see you on Saturday. Bye.